Puddles turn to pools, streams turn to rivers, and rivers turn to lakes. Entire cities and counties cut off from the world as the roads crumble under the aggressive force of the water. Houses are swept off their foundations, stolen away. In many places, all that can be seen of a neighborhood are the rooftops. Thousands are displaced, lives are lost, and houses abandoned. This is life in a flood zone. When the rivers exceed their boundaries and engulf everything and anything it comes into contact with, the once fresh water turns to a harmful contaminant. The 2013 flooding in Colorado has left entire cities and counties underwater and exposed Colorado's pristine environment to harsh contaminants. The river washed away entire oil fields and fracking sites, taking with it thousands of gallons of oil and hazardous chemicals. In fact, over 18,000 gallons of oil leaked into Colorado's South Platte River during the historic flood. In many of the flood zones, the water treatment plants became overwhelmed with the drastic intake of water. The human waste backup in the sewage systems caused backflows into homes and rivers. This high volume of contaminated water was too much for water treatment plants to keep up with and led to contaminated drinking water. Water boiling implementations had to be put in place to protect the public. Although we cannot always predict when and where the next natural disaster will hit, preventing flooding in high-risk areas and implementing procedures for cleanup in flooded zones to help reduce water contamination is of extreme importance for future flooding. Many of the cities and counties most affected by the Colorado flooding had a very high vulnerability due to their close proximity to large flowing rivers. In rebuilding, it is important to prepare for the future. Higher basins and levees should be built around the river where large populations of people live. If the river is properly contained during large storms, it will not be exposed to the contaminants that lie beyond its boundaries. Part of the rebuilding process in future water pollution prevention during flooding is public awareness. It is estimated that only 1% of the families affected by the flooding had flood insurance. The extreme lack in insurance has created a lag in the rebuilding and cleanup process. There is not enough funding from FEMA to provide proper cleanup. The majority of the families affected by the floods have yet to even begin the cleanup process. Public awareness will ultimately be the key to future prevention of water pollution during flooding. It is up to us to take action and build our communities around safe rivers while preparing for the worst with dams and levees, along with proper precautions such as flood insurance in case another flood does occur.